Let's get started. Hi everyone. This is my presentation. It moved number 43 is about most mental illness people are violent. The origin of the mood is movies, news, real life cases. So if you can see here, 2 out of 3 reasons is media influence. The first one is movies. I think all people who are watching right now this video love watching movies, especially scary movies like I am. About 75% of movies feature characters with mental illness, depict them as aggressive or murderers. Is in here some examples: Psycho, Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street. They are most popular scary movies. The second reason of this is news. I think our parents, my dad and grandpa, and I think yours too, love watching news after work. So our parents start talking about this, that mental illness people are dangerous from the news, that information become from the news. As you can see here, 85% of news are about people with mental illness focus on their violent crimes. Characters with mental illness are shown commitment violent acts 10 or sometimes to 10 to 20 times more often than it happens in real life. That is actually bad, and as we can see from this in data, the news are lying to us. This is the one more myth that news are lying. So it's true. Not always, but most. I think that's why, because media often prioritizes sensational stories to attract attention. And last one is real life cases. As I say at the start of the presentation, the most reasons why this myth was created is media influence. But information on the media influence become from real life cases, like tragic events such as Andrea Yates case or Sing Hui Cho's case where he shooted 32 students have reinforced the stereotype that mental illness people are dangerous. What was the short-term result of this? Is increased based on society. 80% of Americans are believe that people with mental illness are prone to violence, and people with diagnoses like depression, schizophrenia, or addiction become targets of public fear. They are scared. This is scared. Not that their mental illness people are violent, but that depression people, schizophrenia people are was become targets of public fear. Studies show that even children as young as 11 to 13 years old think mentally ill individuals are dangerous. I think the last one is coming from our parents, which watching news and watching movies. Oh, so Charles also watching movies. Not scary, but yeah. Around the world. As you can see, if you remember, previous slide was saying that all 80% of Americans, not like now all people of the world around the world, but only Americans. And here around the world, the perception of mental illness are as dangerous varies by culture. For example, in Siberia and Mongolia, people do not associate schizophrenia with a higher risk of violence, possibly due to limited media access. This suggests that stereotypes depend on media influence and can be weakened when sensational stories are less widespread. What does the research say? People with mental illness are much less likely to commit violent crimes than commonly believed. For example, only 3 to 5% of all violent crimes are linked to mental illness. This one explained that these myths are false, not true. Perfectly mentally healthy people in a bad mood or deprived of their morning coffee can be far more aggressive than someone with a diagnosed mental illness. Just imagine, like, people woke up after sleep, just come to drink coffee, and don't have a coffee today for his breakfast. This is scary. This is scary. People with mental illness are far more likely to harm themselves than others. This is second reason why these myths are false. The crime rate among people with mental illness has decreased over the past 4 decades. I think the reason why it's happened that people more working on themselves. What did doctor says? Most people with mental illness are not violent. For example, studies show that 90% or more of individuals with serious mental illness like schizophrenia never commit violent acts. The risk of violence increases only in a small group, individuals with paranoid delusions or substance abuse disorders. People who take their medication regularly regularly have the same level of risk for violence as the general population. So there's not much difference than usual guy who walk on the street. People with schizophrenia or other severe mental disorders are more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. Thank you. Was my presentation. And the last one, what I want to say is this quote is saying people fear those with mental illness not because they're dangerous, but because they don't understand them. It is true. People scare from what they don't know and the things that are new for them. If you want to be scared, you're better off looking at the percentage of tax audits than at people with mental illness. Have a great day. Thank you for listening.